Hi gentlemen and a few ladies, welcome back to the Superchunk Super Audio Show. Today we are taking a look at the Tanchjim Kara, which is just fresh off the press. I first listened to it when I was in Chengdu last month and gave my quick impressions. Today I've gotten my paws on the final release set. There will be no unboxing today as my unit is one that is loaned to me from Jordan. He has a channel too that talks about portable audio, so please check him out. And so because of that, I only received the IEMs itself without the box and therefore no unboxing. But you are not missing out much because there is no waifu on the box this time round, just the IEM in the forefront. But don't worry, I have something special for you guys. It appears now. Right, so I met her in person when I was in Chengdu. Since there is nothing to unbox, I'll just skip it and dive straight to the build quality of the Kara. Clearly, pun very much intended, these are designed with the looks in mind. I really adore the transparent aesthetic that the Kara employs. There is just something about neatly placed drivers that I think most people can get behind. The chassis uses medicinal grey resin that has crystal-like clarity that is quite pretty. The faceplate here is semi-frosted with bits peeking through the bottom, allowing you to see the PCB board that does the crossovers. Certainly digging the clean yet slightly technical look. Also, the Kara follows the same theme that Tanchjim has been using for a while now. It's angelic transparent chassis that fits the color scheme of previously released products. So they are basically all white and greyish and transparency, so yeah, it's in the same line. It features a 2-pin termination which is nice, and you can cable roll for fun and giggles. The cable here is silver plated copper and that terminates to a 3.5mm jack as well. The cable looks nice. It has a choker to better manage your cables when you are using them to make them stay in place. It certainly feels like they are of good quality. I found them quite ergonomic and microphonic free. Also, they are quite lightweight, so you don't really feel them. That is quite nice. Inside the chassis features the hybrid design of the Kara, which includes one 9mm dynamic driver that plays around with the bass, while the 4 balance armatures handles the mids and the treble. When it comes to fit, I have no issues with the Kara. I think this shape has been done before with the oxygen and prism that came before it, so it's proven. It is also quite comfortable and I have not had real hotspots while using them. But there is one thing that I think you should know. The nozzle on the Kara runs a bit big, so it would be advisable for you to choose a slightly larger core ear tip on these. They should not pose a problem, but just something to note. I mean, take a look at this picture. If it fits a pretty girl, it's good enough for me. And of course, next we are moving on to sound quality. During the course of this review, I used the Kara with the Lite Paw S2 and the Lite Paw Gold Touch, and also the Esther & Kern AK380. When it comes to sound, the Kara is a very safe sounding IEM. Some might say a little too safe. It does not really do anything wrong, but I do feel that they are just okay-ish. Many should find its tuning to be acceptable. It has the now very commonplace harmonish tuning or a variation of it. Vocals on the Kara is a little bit more forward from the norm and great for people who values hearing vocals. I do find the Kara's overall tone to be smooth. Perhaps this is a slight detriment to its tone. It's kinda like noise reduction in Lightroom or any photography software. It makes the overall sound smoother but also eats away at fine details. Dynamics is average on the Kara. Contrast between the volume isn't that prominent, but I think it's decent enough. Bass on the Kara is quite evenly distributed between the mid-bass and sub-bass. It never ever overpowers the mid-range and is happily playing second fiddle in the sonic mix. Texture on the bass is decent. Speed of bass is also pretty average and polite sounding. I will not say that these sound laborious, nor will I actually call them fast sounding. It is very adequate in rendering. Part of me wish that the transients is a little bit faster and can hit a little bit harder. But the bass on the Kara always remains polite Lite and Reserve. I guess Tanchjim really wanted to emphasize the mid-range of the Kara, of which tuning bass to be a bit more reserved would emphasize the mid-range a bit more. But for me, I do wish that bass can be a little bit more defined with a little bit more shape. They sound good when the recording is good, but with fast food pop that you get these days, they can come across as a little bit formless. Mid-range is the highlight of the Kara. It is smooth and quite delicate sounding, but I do hear flashes of balanced armature tone. It does not manifest too much, but when the music calls for a little bit more upper mids, details in the upper mids do tend to sound smooth, which takes away from the fine details somewhat. Lower mid-range maintain details better. I find that it is prominent when a singer goes into a falsetto and suddenly you notice the smoothing of her vocals, which is a slight detail reduction. But despite that, vocals on the whole is enjoyable. Instrument sounds correct on the Kara, but separation between the voices and instruments can be a little bit better. I think this is one drawback in favouring smoothness. Other aspects becomes a bit congealed due to this said smoothness. Vocals have a natural warm tone and tonal weight. I would say that this pair of IM leans slightly warm. Treble extension is okay. I would not say that the Kara is an airy pair of earphone, but neither are they completely devoid of it. I just wish for treble to be slightly more prominent to give just a little bit of edge to the rest of the frequencies. Your cymbals, hi-hats and other lower treble dwelling instruments have crisp and adequate brilliance. Next, let's talk about Soundstage. Horizontal and vertical height is ordinary. Think of it of a small jazz club. It is not extremely wide or tall sounding, it is just okay. When it comes to depth and positioning, I think that positioning on Kara is a little weak as the smooth nature makes it hard to define where the instruments are, and this also affects depth as well. Next, we need to talk about the competition out there. So versus the 7Hz Timeless or Timeless AE. I think that the Timeless just outclass the Kara with better definition, clarity and resolution. The single planar in the Timeless also sounds way more coherent than the Kara. To me, the Timeless is more enjoyable and you can scale, especially when you level up your dongle or DAP. The Kara does come across a little bit mushy in comparison with a little bit less of the kick-ass style. It is just very safe. And next, versus the Kiwiears Orchestra Lite. So the Kara and Orchestra Lite both have this sort of smooth signature that is going on, but the Kara is using a hybrid design while the Orchestra Lite is a pure balanced armature. It is quite hard to pick between the both of them, and they both feature the similar smooth tonality that comes at the expense of detail. Despite the Kara featuring a DD4 bass, it does not really sound big or expensive as a DD should. Likewise, the two low BAs that is used in the Orchestra Lite has a similar character. I think that they are kind of similar in this category, and I would say that between these two it's a draw. And lastly, versus the final A5000. Now the A5000 beats the Kara when it comes to detail, resolution, clarity. On the whole, I think the A5000 sounds a hair leaner than the Kara, but it's technically a hit. I also feel that the A5000 is more dynamic and natural sounding compared to the Kara. And finally, we come to the conclusion, right? The Kara is a great IEM for people who enjoy a butter smooth experience. Its great strength lies in its liquid vocals that you can hear right from the get-go. So these are a pair of earphones that will suit the subset of people who enjoy a very smooth vocal sound. Part of me wished for the Kara to have a bit more resolution and dynamics to make it a little bit more exciting to listen to. I think there are quite a lot of decent IEMs in this price category these days, and if you're looking for a all-rounded pair, I think that there are better options out there at the moment. And with that said, thank you for watching the Supertron Super Audio Show. I hope you enjoyed the Kara review, and if you like the content so far, please press the like and subscribe button somewhere down below. It will help me out a bunch. Thank you guys, and hope to see you guys soon.